On the 13th day of Christmas, in any city, in any country, do not despair, for you still have a conscience. Unless you're unconscious, in which case you're fucked. But don't take my word for it. I'm the trash man. I eat from the garbage. I do it for the environment's sake. Seriously, if you're not going green, I am. I painted myself green. Now the paint isn't coming off, and it's leaded, and I'm dying. Slowly and painfully. Because I painted myself green. And it's all your fault for not recycling. Go fuck yourself. Anyway, as a trash man, something that's very, very important to me is heavy metal. They don't naturally decompose, so I take it upon myself to promote actively breaking down such non-biodegradable materials. The way I raise awareness is to go to heavy metal conventions, dressed up as popular heavy metal corporate butt rock stars such as Axl Rose, David Mustaine, and, Fred Durst, backwards red cap, goatee. No, it's actually a cheap Halloween costume. I'm not really Fred Durst. I'm just a guy who painted himself green. You should try it one of these years. When you dress up for Christmas. Go trick-or-treating. Life is a trick, and there's no treat. I'm starting to think that my life is actually just a Halloween episode of life itself. Maybe we're all still babies who've never grown up or even been born. Somewhere out there you're still inside of your mama's womb, and what's being projected into your developing mind is a hallucinated, hospital-administered form of some sort of experimental drug, injected straight into her umbilical cord. Never mind, that's really fucked up. I apologize. I need help. I promise I'll get it. Someday. Now, let me add this before we begin. What we're actively doing each and every moment, each and every day, is evidence of what is called string theory. We're in another dimension, or another string, if you prefer. We're in another string dimension, in which we're all dead, or maybe I'm just dead, I'm nothing but a skeleton, or maybe I'm just big boned and have no skin or organs. I rather enjoy going skinless myself, because that means that my epidermis went to fertilizing the environment and growing plants and trees and whatever. And now let me tell you why I care so much about the environment. I have been to the future in my DeLorean automobile. I was inspired by a fictional grandfather named Rick. You may know him from the eponymous cartoon Rick and Morty, a very original cartoon that clearly is not inspired by anything that came before it in any way, shape, or form. Now, I want to address, I've been learning so howdy flippin' much from that edumacation I've been receiving from that edumacation program. You see, there really is such a thing as a portal, according to a real-life scientist who was formed from the eponymous television cartoon character Rick. Oh yes, I may be insane. I am insane. I'm a substitute science teacher at George Costanza High School in New York City. I'm otherwise short, fat, balding, live with my parents. Regardless, my students revere me. They docilely listen to my lectures, and I smoke a lot of pot because it's a natural product that promotes environmental growth by replacing the pot supply. Now, one day when I was teaching, I informed my docile students that a scientist named Rick had erected portals in the cartoon show Rick and Morty, and nobody believed me. Except for my middle-aged parents, if I had asked them. They sat in the back row. I even found props and made charts supporting the evidence, but they just think I'm in denial. But no, sir. I am in America. Prime Minister Obama still rules in my hive mind. Hashtag Trump Lives Matter, I guess. Hashtag Make Creepypastas Great Again. Hashtag Yes, All Reptilians. Class bell finally rang, and my unconditionally loving students groaned that they would no longer be spending time with me. For now. One student, wearing a yellow hat and similarly colored zigzag striped t-shirt, was looking really the word as if he didn't like his grade and it was keeping him out of a job as a Subway sandwich artist. He gifted me a mysterious VHS tape with a mysterious green aura oozing out of it. And that was pretty cool since I like green. Also, it was mysterious. The text on the cover was scrawled in Times New Roman font. Lost ep of Rick and Morty. People are so Rick. The student was clearly disconcerted and told me not to watch the episode or else his mother wouldn't allow him to open any Christmas presents early this year. I didn't know what to say at that point in time, so he left. Disconcerted. I sighed, chewed on an orange Tic Tac since I eat them rather than suck on them, and stepped outside of the classroom. I delightfully pranced to the janitor's closet and rummaged through the gosh-forsaken thing, trying to find a TV and a VCR. Eventually I did find them, as well as a suitable excuse as to why Joseph Smith couldn't show anyone the golden plates. I put the tape in, and believe me, it wasn't the true, scientifically accurate Rick and Morty television program that I've actually known and loved. Right from the word go, it was something else. The episode starts with Rick, but he looked more like a realistic duck than a fizzy-haired mad scientist. He even walked how ducks walk, realistically.
Morty? We gotta eat some Panera Bread.
Morty comes in, he looks like Donald Duck, except drawn crudely. He was clearly packing tons of extra weight. The only thing that was drawn right was a stylish blue throwback hat from the olden days, and the white feathers from those vintage Walt Disney Donald Duck cartoons.
Jeez, Rick, please, why you do this to me, Rick?
Morty says, or as this episode calls him, Murty. Strange. This episode is basically just too surreal and too meme-ish, but hey, many Rick and Morty episodes are kinda like this, just not this scientifically inaccurate. This was disconcerting. Just as I was getting into thinking that I was watching some amateuristic YouTube poop animation project, things changed up, and we saw Rick and Morty turn into koala bears as they beat the shit out of each other with bamboo baseball bats. Rick used his baseball bat to beat Morty up really hard, and it went on for 3.5 minutes, which I timed with a stopwatch. I was shocked. Then Summer walked in as the animation changed yet again, and Rick and Summer turned into reptilians while Summer asked if he saw a turtle. Rick responds,
Summer, turtle power to the fourth Rick!
His pupils turned into turtle eyes and then became bloodshot turtly eyes. I was scared. This was fucked up. What the fuck? A transition card suddenly appeared on screen, which read, "Meanwhile in another dimension," but I saw nothing. Just a black screen of void. I saw this for a little under 2 minutes until Morty screamed,
"Get me out, Rocksteady, please!"
And a picture of rhinoceros testicles appeared out of the blue, which made me disgusted. Look! Why was there nothing but rhino testicles on the screen for so long? That wasn't even the worst part. Remember when I told you earlier about how dimensions work? Well, I learned something about that. I learned something about them. I learned that all this time that I thought I was the teacher, I should have been the student. Listen, they came out of the screen. The testicles, rhino testes, it was in the third dimension. 3D. 3D, of all things, and I didn't wear any glasses. Okay, sure, I was wearing my trademark science nerd buddy Holly glasses, but not 3D glasses. This should not have been possible. And that, my friends, is the true power of science. Not this, not rhino testicles, popsicles, by Popsicle brand. I really could have used a popsicle because I felt really violated and needed something to calm me down. I know this might be hard to believe, but I am not a zoophile, and this was not acceptable. In fact, it was disconcerting.
Morty,
yelled Rocksteady.
you think Rick Sanchez, your tamed little doc wannabe grandfather, will save you now? Try again. You will be dead. You will be teabagged. You will learn the true definition of science. I will teabag the whole entire universe and the many dimensions of space and time.
From this dimension, from Dimension X, I will finally get the turtles. And by viewing this VHS tape, your dimension will be doomed as well, television viewer. Here comes the boom. Ready or not. I shrieked in horror. A POD reference in a Ninja Turtles cartoon? I spat out the rhino sack and ejected the tape, running outside as fast as I could to find a safe space where no one could hear me or see me. It didn't even occur to me in a moment that this was a reference to the song Alive and how the 3D rhino testicles had come to life in my world. Metaphor. At that point, I foolishly, naively thought that there was a chance that it was all over and I would be okay, but then Rocksteady charged through a door with a shotgun in his hand. He's at me, and now here I am. I thought I'd die. Well, I mean I did, and it was painful, and I bled a lot, and it sucked. But as for now, I'm Prometheus bound. I am in Dimension X and no one else can see me. They torture me by showing me audio-visual footage of Dimension X, but I'm not allowed to reach it. Sometimes I wish I could just go to sleep and catch some Dimension Z's, because it's all too late for me now. And to think, now I understand. It's too late, but now I understand. The real science of it all. The weird science of it all. The real weird science of it all. The lesson of this VHS tape. And the message that my student had meant to convey to me all along. I should have been teaching animal science. The end? Also, Merry Christmas.